So, what are past lives really? Are there, thousands of them that we've gone through? Have we only gone through a few? The truth is, everyone's different. And it's not always easy to know uh, what our history is. So, I'm going to share with you some points about past lives and what it's like to actually go through past lives and anything that you're wondering about to help you be more clear in your journey in terms of visiting these past lives. So, first thing I want to say is that past lives do not actually have to be past lives that are on this planet Earth, okay? We can have past lives from other planets, dimensions. It doesn't actually matter because our soul is infinite. We can actually end up anywhere, okay? So that is the first thing to know, so that if you haven't yet explored past lives, you're more open to the possibility of being in other places. Most people who I would see as patients or clients would basically see the past lives that are on this planet, so not necessarily from other planets. And that's totally fine because you will get what you need from those experiences. The second point I'd like to make is that they can be very real and very historical, and you might be able to even get as much detail as a year, a name of a person, a place, a city, a town, a circumstance, and then you can go online and search it and find that it's actually real. And you may have not known about anything related to this event or time or person, and it ends up being true. So just keep that in mind, that if you have any skepticism, I've even had my own past lives that I've seen and researched and found consistencies in dates and events that matched up with what I saw. And sometimes you'll see a name or hear a name that you've never heard before, but you look it up, it's a real name from that part of the world. So just have that kind of in mind. The third point is, now these past lives can be symbolic or represent an archetype. And when I say this, it's because sometimes the past life that you see will actually be, it won't feel realistic in some way, but there's a lot of symbolism in it. And it could still be a real past life, but there's a lot of symbolic energy. The person you might see might be some sort of an archetype that kind of represents some aspect of your life or yourself. So even if you think it's not real, there will usually be some level of symbolism there that will help you understand why you're seeing it in the first place. So at the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter if this past life has occurred in reality, because you are seeing what you need to see to gather your lessons to help you heal. So the fourth point is that it can be very parallel to your current life. So you might actually see a life, depending where you're at and what you're open to. You might find out, you might be a different gender completely, it might be a different time, but you will notice a very similar pattern in that life, and you'll see like a similar loss or a similar kind of ages where you went through certain things. And the reason that's coming up, again, you could look at it as symbolic, but you can also look at it as unresolved or unhealed karma or unhealed wounds that you're carrying. Therefore, you are having to relive that kind of life again until you get the lesson. So it's very common to see that when you travel back into your past lives, to see a consistent pattern with what you're going through now. And that's where you kind of, either on your own or with someone who knows how to guide you, you take as many lessons as you can and apply it to this life. And then have it be released from your energy field, because you don't really want to have that being held, right? So the fifth point, I kind of already said it, but basically you could be subconsciously holding these past lives and their energies and their traumas in your energetic body, and it can be manifesting in this life, whether it's through similar traumas, or you might even be holding things physically. So or you might have irrational fears. So for example, this is simple, but like if you just genuinely are afraid of drowning, afraid of deep water, but you never actually drowned, that is usually a sign that you're carrying something. And it could be a past life, okay? It's just one answer as to why. There could be other reasons, like ancestral traumas, which I can talk about in another video. But having past lives that you've experienced these kinds of traumas can help you answer why you are experiencing certain symptoms in this life, because you're subconsciously carrying stuff that you don't actually remember. So when you revisit and open up the memory to these times and places and events, you can start to release and heal it. Okay, so there are different ways to do that. Usually I just guide the session and help people do that. There's multiple ways to access that information for healing. So another 6th point I'd like to make is that whatever you are going through in the current time, let's say you go for 6 different sessions or something for past life regression, you will always see the past life that is most relevant for your current and most optimal healing at that moment. So you might see one life, and then the next time you might see a completely different life with a completely different theme. But it's because we're moving through layers of stuff that needs to be healed. So you will usually find the most relevant past life that will help you deal with your current situation. There's probably multiple lives dealing with one situation that you need to resolve. So you might see different lives representing a similar pattern. But usually what happens is the person will have some sort of agenda or an issue that they want to resolve, and that past life will show up to help them resolve it in the most efficient way. Okay. The 7th point I'd like to make is that it's okay if you think you're making it up. Your subconscious is really just showing you the images that you need to see. So if you feel like you're making it up, it doesn't matter, because your subconscious knows what you need to see to help you resolve the issue. And there's no mistakes when it comes to what you're seeing. So when people say to me, I think I'm making it up, I just say, all right, just pretend, just keep going, just pretend you're telling a story. And it may be that this life doesn't even exist, and they may have just watched a movie a few weeks ago that looks like the thing that they're telling me. But guess what? There is literally always, I've seen it again and again, there's always a consistency and a parallel to the life that they're in. So it does not matter if you think you're making it up, and it doesn't matter if you're actually making it up. You won't really know. Okay? And it doesn't, and it, like I said, it doesn't matter. You will get what you need from that. Okay? One more point I'd like to make. So let's say 8 points in total, is that healing can happen in different ways. We can speak to the past life self and gather information, ask them what lessons they learned, what they could have done differently. You know, what were the things they grew from spiritually. And the lessons can go both ways. So you could learn from your past life self and apply it to this life. And you're communicating telepathically in your mind. You're communicating with this person you don't know, but it is a part of your soul. And you can also communicate with them to help them become more at peace. And then it's really just you becoming more at peace with yourself. But there's that way of being able to apply by talking to your past life self. The other way that I just recently realized is you can literally use another modality, which I'm doing advanced levels of body talk, which if you want to know more, it's on my website, or you can send me a message asking me more about it, because it's pretty interesting. Believe it or not, I've been accessing past lives through body talk too. And it's just another way to access information. And the difference is the person who is doing the session, so the practitioner is the one who actually accesses the information of the past life through muscle testing. So hey, why not, right? Different ways to access similar information to help release and let go. Through body talk, it would be through tapping methods and, releasing it by bringing it up to the surface and then allowing and giving permission to the body to surrender that, so it no longer needs to be stuck in the body causing the current traumas or current fears or current physical symptoms. So it's so interesting. And like I find that it depends. Sometimes the past life will just pop into my mind, so it's not always the person who sees it, but I will see it spontaneously. And yes, it's coming through my own filters. So it's always good for the client to say, yes, that feels right. Yes, I see it, or I feel it, or I hear it. So there's so many ways to access this information, and it's pretty cool. So that's all I wanted to talk about in terms of past lives, and like just being able to really understand that it's not so much about whether or not it's real. I would say it is real. It's more about how does this help me heal in this life. I don't do past life regression for people for fun. Never. It's always for a purpose of healing. So a lot of it is trust, having faith, having complete surrender, and allowing yourself to explore, because if you haven't been able to find a solution to your healing, this could be another way to go about it. Okay? So thanks for joining me. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll put my information in the video below the video. So if you want to contact me or are curious about having sessions, let me know. I offer online as well. Have a great day. See you soon. Take care. Namaste.